I made a living selling tofu to support the whole family. After passing the scholar exam, my husband Huang Yizu conspired with his mother to harm me and our child, marrying a delicate beauty instead. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned 2 years earlier. His mother clutched my hand, weeping about the family's hardship, begging me to sell tofu to feed them. I pulled my hand away coldly. Choosing a man to marry should mean food and clothing in plenty. If the entire household, young and old alike, relied on a woman who had just given birth to survive, where would Huang Yizu's dignity be? No sooner had I awoken than I heard Huang Yizu demanding money from his mother, saying he wanted to host a banquet for his teacher and fellow scholars. 2 taels. My son, we can barely light a fire at home. Where would I find 2 taels of silver? Huang Yizu scowled. When Fu Yun returned home, did she not bring 50 taels of dowry, entrusted to you? Where has it all gone? Long since spent. Today you drink with Zhang Shang, tomorrow you go boating with Li Shang. Money flows like water, it's all gone. His mother's voice grew shrill with anxiety. Huang Yizu, feeling humiliated, flew into a rage. If I study at the academy yet build no connections, how will I ever rise? A man without even 2 taels to spare will be mocked by his peers. His mother, who doted on him, hoping he would bring honor to the clan, dared not argue further. After a long pause, she said through clenched teeth, "Do not be angry. Fu Yun still has a jade bracelet. Pawn it, it should fetch 10 taels." Hearing this, Huang Yizu's face lit up. Still, he feigned hesitation. But that was her mother's keepsake. Is it proper? What's improper? She married into our family, her things are ours. Besides, you can redeem it later. She'll never know. His mother sighed. Times are hard. I'll tell Fu Yun to go out and earn some money for the household. She sold tofu before marrying, after enjoying a year of ease, she should share the burden now. Hiding in the kitchen, I pinched myself hard, scarcely believing I truly had returned. In my past life, I married Huang Yizu, drained myself dry selling tofu to feed them all. After he passed the exam, he and his mother pushed me and my 1-year-old daughter into the river, drowning us, only to marry the cousin who once spurned him. I died with eyes unclosed, my soul unable to rest. I watched Huang Yizu fake grief at my funeral, then plead for marriage with his cousin, coaxing her. Fu Yun was crude, never your equal. Cousin, all these years I have only thought of you. Fu Yun earned much from selling tofu. After you marry, it will all be yours to manage. 3 years of humiliation in the Huang household, and in the end, I was dismissed with a single phrase, Fu Yun was crude. The money I painstakingly saved was finally turned into dowry for another woman. Only then did I see the true face of Huang Yizu. Back then, I had heard that the Huang family was a noble household, renowned for virtue. I thought marrying in was heaven's blessing. I was illiterate, while Huang Yizu excelled at poetry and essays. He always spoke of state affairs, making me feel small, unworthy, as though I had climbed too high. After marriage, his mother never spoke harshly. Whatever the matter, she circled her words, coaxing me until I spun like a top. Even when they were at fault, I took the blame. I suffered because I lacked learning, because I believed in the Huang family's name and poured out all of myself. In the end, they drained me dry, and only in death did I realize they were demons in human skin. Footsteps came from outside. Huang Yizu and his mother headed toward the kitchen. I hurried back to stand behind the stove. His mother entered, her gaze chilling as it fell upon the pot of soup. Fu Yun, why haven't you kneaded the dough yet? Yizu is hungry. Everyone in the household had hands and feet, yet none would lift a finger, only blamed me for being slow. I laughed coldly within, fed more firewood into the stove, and answered lightly. I am pregnant, cooking all alone. With no one helping, is it wrong if I'm a little slow? Is mother blaming me? She froze in surprise. In the past, I would have scrambled to apologize, never daring to voice my grievances. But she, though cruel at heart, still wanted to preserve her reputation as a virtuous elder, so Izu's future as an official would not be stained. So she swallowed her temper. No one is blaming you. You think too much. But Izu must go to the academy. If he is late, it will not be good. I understand, I replied, but my hands did not move, I only added more wood to the fire. Unable to command me, she gritted her teeth, rolled up her sleeves, and kneaded the dough herself. When the noodles were done, she held 2 eggs, hesitating, then sighed with feigned generosity. Ah, Fu Yun, there are only 2 eggs left in the house. You and Izu eat them. I don't need any. She had never let herself suffer before. Such words were merely because she knew I was dutiful and patient, unlikely to take them. She wanted the good name, but still enjoy the benefit. In the past, I had been blind, toyed within her palm. But not anymore. I smiled brightly, taking the eggs. Thank you, mother. I am with child and indeed need nourishment. You want to act the saint. I will not stop you. She froze, stunned that I actually accepted them. I ignored her, happily eating the eggs, savoring how delicious they were, far better than the bitterness I once swallowed 100 times over. Huang Izu's face darkened as he saw his mother silenced. Fu Yun, filial piety comes first among all virtues. How can you eat when your elder has none? I raised my head, feigning fear. My husband speaks rightly. How can a child eat when mother has none? Husband, please give your egg to mother. He choked, unable to respond, forced into a corner. With a blackened face, he pushed his egg into his mother's bowl. She quickly refused, pushing it back. No, I don't like eggs. She swallowed hard, her face twisted into an ugly smile, signaling for him to stop. After all, they still needed me to earn money selling tofu. Huang Izu held back his fury, slammed down his chopsticks, and stormed off. I won't eat. I'm going to the academy. Izu, at least eat before you go. His mother chased a few steps, then returned, forcing a smile. Izu has been studying hard. His temper is bad, but it wasn't aimed at you. Don't take it to heart. Hearing her coaxing tone, I knew immediately she wanted something. Sure enough, she sat beside me, studying my expression, then sighed. Ah, Fu Yun, you see how it is. We have no money left. What shall we do? What shall we do? Then we can just live on air. I wiped my mouth, pretending to struggle with the thought. Mother, didn't I hand you 50 taels as dowry? Since times are hard, just use it. If my father and elder brother ask, I will explain. Her face blanched, sweat beading on her forehead. That silver had long been squandered. She forced a laugh, stammering. That money. I saved for the child you carry. It cannot be touched. No matter. Use it, mother. Fu Yun. Terrified I might say more and expose her, she cut me off, grasping my hand. You once sold tofu, skilled in the trade. Now, when the family is in difficulty, why not do it again? Ah. At last the truth came out. I yanked my hand away, coldly. Mother, when I first married, you said trade was lowly work. You forced me to stay home and serve my husband, forbidding me from going out. And now you want me to do this shameful labor again. Besides, marriage is for food and clothing. If the entire household must depend on a pregnant woman, where will my husband's dignity be? You always speak of face and dignity. Then I will use that very face to strike you back. Her complexion flushed red, then pale, then green, a sight most amusing. She wanted to tear my mouth apart, yet forced herself to endure, lowering her voice. Fu Yun, times are different now. Our family is in hardship. Bear some grievance for a while. Afraid I would refuse, she even painted me a bright future. You are a virtuous wife and good mother. Help Izu through this. Later, he will remember your kindness. When he becomes an official, you will be ennobled, honored above all. Is it not worth a little suffering now? Suffer, only to end with a life of suffering. Whoever wants that, let them take it. Not me. I drew a deep breath, restraining myself, and feigned hesitation. Mother, it's not that I won't endure hardship, but now all matters of the household are mine to manage. If I leave, who will see to it? I will. I will see to everything. She, thinking I agreed, rejoiced, not noticing the trap I had set. I smiled within, but outwardly still seemed hesitant. Then, 3 meals each day. She stiffened, gritting her teeth. I will cook. The laundry. I will wash. The courtyard. I will sweep. Good. Every word, she said herself. In my past life, I went out to sell tofu by day, and at night cooked, laundered, cleaned for the entire family, my back bent until I could not stand straight, just to uphold the false name of being virtuous. I had only brought misery upon myself. I nodded, clasping her hand. With mother taking care of the house, I can rest easy. She forced a smile, bitter as wormwood. After a single year of idle comfort, she now had to labor again. It stung. But thinking I would soon go earn money, she sighed with relief. I cast her a sidelong glance. Earn money to feed them. Dream on. I agreed to sell tofu, yet 3 days passed, and I had not once gone to the stall. She busied herself with chores. Her once soft and plump hands were now red and swollen. Exhausted, clutching her back, at last she came to me. Fu Yun, when will you go to the stall? I answered slowly. Mother, trade is not so easy. It has been long since I sold tofu. I must prepare the recipe again. It cannot be rushed. Her face soured, but she dared not press me. When Huang Yizu returned from the academy, he demanded money again. Mother, tomorrow I must treat my teacher to a meal. Why haven't you gathered the silver? If tomorrow I have no money, how can I show my face? Better I quit school. She trembled with fright, stamping her feet. Heavens! Yizu, how can you speak of quitting school? You are the sole golden branch of the Huang line. If you stop, how can I face the ancestors? She soothed him. These past days Fu Yun has not yet gone out. Wait a little longer. I will find a way today. I listened behind the wall, then decided to give her a chance. After Izu left, I stepped into the room. Mother, I will go out and borrow what I need to sell tofu. Hearing I would go, she nearly wept with joy. Good, go ahead. Leave the house to me. I smiled, took my basket, and left. But after a few steps, I turned back. As expected, I caught her sneaking into my room, taking the jade bracelet left by my mother, hiding it in her bosom. I silently followed, watching her pawn it at the shop for 10 taels of silver, returning home delighted. I sneered inwardly. Mother-in-law, my things will not be taken so easily. By evening, she went to the market for vegetables. Women sat at their doors, picking greens while gossiping. I burst from the house, standing in the street, crying aloud. Our home was robbed. My bracelet is gone. They dropped their chores, rushing over. What happened, Fu Yun? Why do you cry so bitterly? Tears streamed down my face, my voice choked. The bracelet my mother left me, it's gone. Before I left, it was right by my pillow. When I returned, it was gone. Heavens above. What now? Fu Yun, did you search carefully? I searched. It is gone. There must have been a thief. Clutching the hand of a nearby auntie, I sobbed. Auntie, go home quickly and check your things. This thief is brazen indeed. At my cry, the whole neighborhood fell into uproar. Though most homes owned little of value, they still had rice, grain, or a few coins. If thieves prowled nearby, the loss would be no small matter. Men were called back from their errands to check their houses. Just then, his mother returned from the market, humming cheerfully. Seeing the crowd outside our door, she approached curiously. "What's this? What happened? Fu Yun, why are you standing there?" I choked with sobs, unable to answer. A nearby auntie explained for me. "Mother of Izu, your daughter-in-law's house was robbed. The bracelet Fu Yun's mother left her has vanished." At those words, her face changed at once. "What?" Sweat dampened her brow as she rushed to pull me aside. "Fu Yun, have you searched carefully? Go back inside, look again." I clung tighter to the auntie's arm, weeping. "I searched, over and over, but it's gone. It was the only keepsake my mother left me. Without it, I don't want to live." The auntie embraced me, alarmed. "Don't say such things, Fu Yun." Another woman frowned, suspicious. "I've sat at my doorway all afternoon. No one came or went. Could it be someone inside?" At that, his mother nearly collapsed with fright. Yet she had the reputation of a virtuous matron. The neighbors shook their heads, unwilling to believe such a thing. Only one old neighbor, Madam He, who had long disliked the Huang household, sneered from the side. "Who knows? I wouldn't be so sure." His mother flared up. "He-shen, do you mean to accuse me?" Madam He smirked. "I didn't name anyone. Why leap to defend yourself?" Others hurried to intervene. "Enough, Madam He, mind your tongue. The mother of Izu is famed for virtue. How could she steal her daughter-in-law's dowry?" With neighbors speaking up for her, she steadied herself and again tugged at me. "Fu Yun, come back inside." Perhaps it was misplaced. But I remembered too well. Before marrying into the Huang family, I had jewelry aplenty. Within a year, many vanished. When I asked, Izu scolded me. "Can't even keep your own things, and now you suspect the family." He, a scholar of the sages, and I, ignorant, had believed him. I swallowed my grievances in silence. Now, she tried the same trick again. But I would not let her. I ignored her plea, raised my voice higher. "That wretched thief! I will not spare you. I will report this to the magistrate." She nearly fainted on the spot. "Fu Yun, it's a small matter. No need to. It is my mother's last keepsake. If it is not found, I will not live." "Auntie, your nephew works in the yamen, yes. Take me to him." The auntie nodded. "Indeed, reporting is right. Whoever stole the bracelet will sell it for silver, and such things cannot escape the eyes of the officials. They will surely find it." But another added. "Tonight the yamen is closed. We must wait till morning." All around, heads nodded. His mother stood pale as ashes, her body trembling. That night, I went to the auntie's home, asking her grandson to draft a complaint. His mother tried desperately to dissuade me. I only buried my face in my hands and wailed. "Mother, I've failed you. I will not forgive the thief. Once caught, I'll see him rot in prison." His mother nearly lost her mind. If she admitted to stealing the bracelet, it would be like stripping herself bare in the middle of the street. But if the complaint reached the officials, and the truth came out, the shame would be worse. A mother-in-law stealing her daughter-in-law's dowry. Huang Izu would be ruined. Mocked by the world, barred from examinations, his career crushed forever by her crime. In her terror, strands of her hair turned white before my eyes. While I was still weeping at Madam He's house, his mother slipped away. Gnashing her teeth, she went to her elder sister's home to borrow 2 taels of silver. Then she rushed to the pawn shop, intent on redeeming the bracelet. The shopkeeper, without even lifting his head, replied coolly. "That bracelet has already been sold." Horrified, she demanded to know the buyer. The man, unbothered, told her plainly. She ran off again, clutching the money, and finally found the buyer, a tavern mistress in West Market. The woman lounged there, the bracelet glinting on her wrist, idly picking her teeth. What's this? You want to buy it back? I like this bracelet very much. If you want it, it'll be 60 taels. She nearly collapsed. 60 taels. Are you robbing me? Take it or leave it, the tavern mistress said carelessly. Not a single coin less. And with a sway of her hips, she went upstairs, leaving his mother with a twisted face. She had only 10 taels, short by 50. Cursing under her breath, she returned home, pried open a loose board, and dragged out a pouch of silver. It was her life savings, coin by coin, hoarded for her coffin and burial, exactly 50 taels. Her fingers caressed the money as tears rolled down. But she had no choice. She could not ruin Izu's future. Clenching her jaw, she carried the silver to West Market and redeemed the bracelet. By the time the complaint had been written, she came rushing back. Fu Yun, look what I've found. I turned, and there it was, the bracelet. Tears welled up, and I cried out in joy. Heavens! My bracelet! She smiled smugly. See? I told you. You didn't search carefully. I turned the house upside down, even checked the stove and the woodpile, and found it under the bed. You must change this careless nature of yours. Her tone was half reproach, half indulgent affection, enough to fool the neighbors into thinking her a kind mother-in-law. I marveled inwardly. To cut off such a chunk of flesh from herself, yet still act the saint, truly formidable. Clutching the bracelet, I wept and threw my arms around her. Mother, you are so good. Thank you. I will never be careless again. The neighbors sighed in relief, congratulating me, teasing me for being scatterbrained. Only a few women whispered. Fu Yun searched all day and found nothing, yet she found it at once. Strange, isn't it? Yes, only she would know the truth. His mother's lifelong reputation wavered ever so slightly. But deaf to the murmurs, she proudly led me home. She seethed inside, nearly mad with rage, yet in the end she swallowed it, only sighing. Fu Yun, don't ever make such a fuss again. The Huang family is a noble house. We must preserve its face. What did the face of the Huang family matter to me? I laughed coldly in my heart, though outwardly I softened. It was only because it was my mother's keepsake. Next time, I won't. The next day, I excused myself to buy soybeans. In a narrow alley, I met the tavern mistress of West Market, Chang Yu, who many called Sister Jade. Fu Yun. She pressed a bundle of silver into my hand, her teeth clenched. Your mother-in-law truly stole your bracelet. Yesterday, when you told me, I didn't believe it. She had such a reputation for virtue. Who knew? I gave a bitter smile. Before, I didn't believe it either. Drawing out 30 taels, I handed them to her. Sister Yu, take these. We agreed to split it half and half. Annoyed, she shoved the silver back. Do you take me for such a person? Fu Yun, what do you take me for? When she refused again and again, I pressed 15 taels into her hand. Then at least take this much. If nothing else, it's only right. Chang Yu was an old friend from before my marriage, when I sold tofu in West Market. She had set up a stall beside mine, selling threads and needles. When there were no customers, we would talk. Over time, we became close friends. After his mother pawned my bracelet, I sought her out. I asked her to redeem it, then wait for the inevitable. When his mother came, she was to demand 60 taels. The silver would be split. Why 60? Because I knew his mother had 50 taels hidden beneath the floorboards, saved for her own death rites. She had been cruel, I need not be kind. Chang Yu pressed the silver back again, stubborn as ever. I do not lack silver. But you, carrying a child, with life so hard, take it, use it. Consider it a gift for the little one. I could not refuse, and accepted. At this time, I truly needed money. Later, when I had enough, I would repay her. Chang Yu looked at me and sighed. Fu Yun, I once thought, since you married a scholar, your life must be far better than mine. Who knew, it would be just as bitter. Her words lingered in my chest. Her husband owned a tavern, there was no lack of food, no lack of money. Yet she still said her life was not good. I asked softly. Sister Yu, the Chen family treats you poorly. She shook her head quickly. No, nothing like that. Every household has its shadows. Since she did not wish to speak, I did not press. It will get better, Sister Yu. We will both live better lives. Yes. She gripped my hand tightly. If that old woman dares bully you again, come to me. I will not sit idle. That night, Wang Izu went out drinking and did not return until the next day. His mother dared not speak of what had happened, but her face was gray, her energy gone. Yet in recent days, my change unsettled her. She began to suspect. After Izu returned, she whispered. My son, I feel Fu Yun is not as before. He sneered. Not as before. Isn't she still that wretched thing? No. I mean, it's as if she has found something out. She no longer seems to respect me. Oh. Now that you mention it, I find her a little strange as well. Why is that? I, hiding behind the door, heard every word. I knew I could not live like this forever. I must leave the Huang family. But for now, I had to bide my time. I opened the door, pushing the tofu cart. Mother Izu, I am going to the market. I smiled sweetly. The weather turns cold. I hope business will be better. When I earn enough, I will make a new robe for Izu, and buy mother a pair of golden earrings. Our whole family will live in plenty. At these words, their faces brightened, the eyes meeting in silent relief. They thought they had worried too much. His mother laughed. Good, Fu Yun. Take care on the road. Yes, mother. I wheeled the cart away, turning once. She was stroking her earlobes, no doubt dreaming of her golden earrings. Still wanting to suck my blood dry. Daydreams. I sold tofu, seasoned with chile. This was my mother's recipe, a secret sauce known only to me. Even if others bought my tofu and studied it for a year, they could never decipher the formula. Though more than a year had passed, once I returned to West Market, the old customers swarmed me, scrambling for my tofu. Before half the day was gone, everything was sold out. But I had hidden some beneath the cart, to mislead. When I came home, I pretended I had not sold it all. Each day, I reported just enough profit, neither too much to raise suspicion, nor too little to cause complaint. Enough for rice and grain, nothing more. But I knew, such days could not last. Each time I thought of that frozen river, my body shuddered. I must leave the Huang family. Days later, I seized the chance to visit my elder brother's house, hoping he would help. The moment I stepped inside, before I spoke, my sister-in-law's face turned cold. They had heard I was pregnant and still selling tofu, knew I was living poorly, and feared I came to burden them. What are you doing here? My brother frowned, his voice sharp. A daughter married off is like water poured out. Don't come back for nothing. Mother is gone, this is no longer your home. At the Huang household, behave yourself. If you anger them and get cast out, don't expect me to pay back the bride price. So that was it. He feared the Huangs would drive me away, then demand the dowry back. So blood kin, too, were no different from the Huang wolves. Each one drained me to the bone, and begrudged even the marrow. I knew words would be useless. Even if I begged, my brother would only turn and report me to Huang Izu, dragging me back into the Huang household. So I swallowed my bitterness, forcing a smile. Elder brother, what are you saying? My husband and I are in harmony, how could he ever cast me aside? Relief washed over his face. Truly. Of course. I only missed sister-in-law and wanted to see her. I glanced toward the kitchen. It's noon already. My husband will soon be home from the academy. I must go prepare his meal. With a respectful bow, I withdrew. Turning back toward the house of my birth, tears streamed down my cheeks. This was the home my mother built with years of selling tofu, penny by penny. Yet now, it was no longer mine. When I returned to the Huang house, I found my husband's aunt, his mother's elder sister, arriving with her daughter. This aunt had often come in my past life, greedy and grasping. Not long ago, his mother had borrowed 2 taels of silver from her, promising interest, but never repaid a single coin. No doubt the aunt had come to press. Fu Yun, back already. Her tone was overly sweet. She had heard I reopened the tofu stall and assumed I had money. Aunt, I hope you are well. She leaned close, lowering her voice. How's business? Surely you've made quite a sum. Lend me a little, won't you? I had earnings, but I would never use them to repay her mother's debts. Not much, aunt. All the money I earn, I hand over to mother-in-law. I have nothing left. You gave it all to her. But she swore to me she had none. Did she? Why, just yesterday I heard her talking about buying a pair of. I stopped myself, biting my lip. But if she said she has no money, it must be true. The aunt's face tightened. Grinding her teeth, she muttered. That old hag dares cheat me. She stormed into the house. I turned to the young cousin at her side. This was the woman who, after my child and I were drowned, became Izu's bride. A beauty indeed. No wonder he longed for her. But Huang Izu was no man of honor. To marry him was to ruin one's life. I thought to warn her, but before I spoke, she sneered. Sister-in-law, forgive me, but how old are you? 18. 18. Heaven. I thought you 30 already. A woman is like a flower, yet look at you, doesn't cousin gag at the sight. Every gentle word I had prepared curdled on my tongue. So, it wasn't deception. Pot and lid, perfect match. In my past life, when Izu and his mother drowned me and my daughter, perhaps she had played no small part. I smiled faintly. I cannot compare to you. You are young and lovely. To become a concubine of this household suits you well. Her eyes widened, her face purple with rage. Who would stoop to be a concubine? No wonder you couldn't hold your husband's heart, you yellow-faced hag. I did not reply. She glared and stormed inside, straight into a flying pot. His aunt stood, hands on hips, roaring. You wretched hag! Dare you swallow my money? Pay it back, or I'll burn this house down. His mother, hair disheveled, screamed back. Old witch! You've leeched from us for years. If you want repayment, return all the silver you've taken. Their shrieking filled the courtyard. Even Huang Izu, rushing to intervene, caught blows. I, heavy with child, simply stepped aside and watched the farce. For a full watch of the night they fought, neighbors pouring in to separate them. At last, his mother surrendered, pawning Izu's scholar's set, brush, ink, paper, and inkstone, to calm the storm. The courtyard lay in ruins. I looked around and felt the urgency in my bones. The Huang family was no haven. I must leave them, soon. But for now, I was still selling tofu, earning a few coins each day. The Huang mother and son would never agree if I proposed divorce. And my own kin would never take me back. What was I to do? I sat before my tofu stall, lost in thought. Suddenly, from behind the tavern, came the sound of crockery shattering. I peered over and saw Cheng Yu running upstairs in tears. My heart clenched, but with her husband standing guard at the door, I dared not intrude. By dusk, I tapped a small stone against her window, asking her to meet me in the alley. She came, collapsing into my arms, sobbing. Fu Yun. Chen Guangzong is no man, he's a beast. What happened, Sister Yu? I looked closer and found bruises covering her beneath her robe. He struck you. She nodded through tears. Since the day I married him, not a day has passed without his fists. Outside he gambles and drinks, then vents his temper on me. Now, at the sound of his voice, I tremble, afraid he will one day beat me to death. I was stunned. Behind her polished appearance lay a life tormented by blows and curses. My eyes burned. Then why not divorce him? Divorce. She laughed bitterly. Never so easy. He would never agree. Just like you, would Huang Yizu ever release you, when he feeds on you to keep his whole house alive? Never. A woman, once wed, lives as her husband's possession, dies as his ghost. Until every drop of blood is drained, he will never let go. Her voice cracked as she added. And I have a son, and an aged mother-in-law. If I left, they would suffer his blows instead. She buried her face on my shoulder, sobbing. I held her, pain and fury twisting inside me. We had once been two innocent girls. Marriage had turned us into shadows, neither truly human nor yet ghosts. Once wed, men became our heavens. Yet were we not also women, standing under the same sky, feet planted on the same earth? I gritted my teeth. Why? Why must it be this way? Fu Yun, there is no other way. It is fate. I do not believe in fate. If it comes to it, let the fish die, let the net break. I will kill Chen Guangzong. As the words left me, a light sparked in my mind. Perhaps there was another way. I steadied myself, grasping Chang Yu's hand. My voice was low, firm. Sister Yu, I have a way. If only you dare. She stared at me in confusion. What way? What I am about to tell you, remember well. Forget not a single word. I was caught. When the constables came, I sat before Chen Guangzong, pleading helplessly for mercy. Chang Yu rushed in with her child, screaming at the sight of her husband, bloodied and broken on the ground. Not long after, he was carried to the physician. Because I had injured him, I was thrown in prison. Days later came word, Chen Guangzong had survived, but the head wound left him crippled, unable to rise or speak, drooling with vacant eyes. In the cell, I wept daily, swearing I never meant it, begging the magistrate to spare me. The jailers, seeing I was pregnant and pitiful, did not treat me harshly. Half a month later, I was brought to court. Chang Yu carried her son, wailing, accusing me of harming her husband, begging the magistrate for justice. I knelt and kowtowed until my head bled. Great sir, I am wronged. I was pushing a cart with 10 sacks of soybeans, higher than my head. I could not see the way. Being with child, I stumbled, lost my grip, and by accident injured Chen Guangzong. Great sir, I am innocent. As I cried, blood stained my skirts. The onlookers could not bear it. Many stepped forward, pleading for me. She is with child, yet forced to sell tofu to feed her household. Spare her, my lord. Yes, have mercy. Among the crowd, a few women even wept openly. The magistrate pondered, then turned to Chang Yu. Such injury cases often ended lightly, if the victim's family agreed to forgive. That Chang woman, the accused harmed unintentionally, and she is with child. What say you? Chang Yu wiped her tears, answering. She is pitiful, I do not wish to push her into ruin. But compensation, there must be compensation. Her concession pleased the magistrate. He slammed his gavel down. The accused, Fu Yun, injured another. The crime cannot be absolved. But as it is her first offense, and unintentional, I decree thus, Fu Yun shall be punished with 20 strokes and shall compensate that Chang woman 500 taels of silver. The strokes shall be delayed until after childbirth. Court adjourned. The sentence fell, and the crowd erupted in applause. I kowtowed my thanks, then turned toward my mother-in-law and Huang Yizu. From the moment of my arrest, they had never visited me. Only now, they stood hidden at the back, watching. At the magistrate's words, 500 taels, their faces turned ashen. When my eyes met theirs, they spun on their heels to leave. I leapt forward. Mother. Yizu. I need not be imprisoned. Please, give me 500 taels to pay that Cheng woman, then I may come home. Had it been 5 or 10, my mother-in-law might still have feigned generosity. But 500. Even if they sold themselves, they could not raise it. She covered her face, kicking me aside. Where would I find such money? Begone. You made this mess, solve it yourself. They tried to flee, but Qingyu had her servants block their way. You may not leave. She is of your household. If she cannot pay, then you must. Huang Yizu panicked. Who is of my household? She committed the crime of injuring another. It falls under the 7 grounds for dismissal. Today I repudiate her. From this moment, she has nothing to do with the Huang family. I clutched at his sleeve. No, husband, don't cast me out. I beg you. He shoved me off coldly, dragging his mother away. That night, they forced my hand upon the divorce paper, expelling me from their house. Before all, Cheng Yu stepped forward, holding a deed of indenture. You cannot pay. Then from this day, you sell yourself to me. Work until the debt of 500 taels is repaid. I accepted with trembling hands. Under the sorrowful eyes of the crowd, I bit my finger, marking blood upon the paper. Cheng Yu bent to pick it up, met my eyes, and smiled faintly. I exhaled at last. To Wan Qin Guangzong, to use the compensation as the wedge to sever Huang Yizu from me, this was the very two-pronged plan I had spoken of to Cheng Yu. As her servant, she led me home. There lay Qin Guangzong, twisted on his bed, drooling and vacant, never to recover. Never again could he raise a hand in violence. Cheng Yu shut the door, tore the deed to shreds, and we embraced, weeping with relief. After a time, she noticed the blood on my leg. Fu Yun, what is this? So much blood, you may have miscarried. I must fetch a physician. No need, Sister Yu. I lifted my skirt, showing her. I did not miscarry. I cut myself on purpose. The wound is healing already. You foolish girl. She wiped her tears, fetched ointment, and gently dressed my wound. Her household had no lack of medicines, prepared for Chen Guangzong's condition. As she bound my injury, warmth spread through me. From the days of hardship when we sold tofu and thread side by side, to this moment of shared deliverance. From now on, we were truly family. After the Huang family cast me out, their days grew ever more wretched, scraping by meal to meal. For casting aside a woman heavy with child, Huang Yizu's reputation collapsed. Fellow scholars who once aided him now turned their backs. Yet not long after, he passed the provincial exam, gaining the lowest scholar's degree. For a time, he basked in hollow glory. When my aunt heard, believing he might one day be an official, she hurried to marry my younger cousin into the Huang household as his second wife. That cousin, however, was no meek lamb. From the moment she entered the Huang home, she refused to lift a finger, forcing his mother to serve her every whim. Quarrels broke out constantly, until the entire neighborhood gossiped of their strife. That winter, when the family traveled to visit relatives, they crossed a river. Huang Yizu's mother fell into the water and drowned. No one knew how she slipped. When word reached me, I felt both fear and a secret thrill. Had I not left the Huang family when I did, the one drowned in that river might well have been me. As Yizu arranged her funeral, a courtesan appeared at their door. It turned out the silver he once claimed was for teachers and friends had instead gone into the brothel. He had sworn to this courtesan that once he passed his exam, he would marry her. Instead, he had taken my cousin. The courtesan, fierce of temper, stormed into their home to demand justice. That day, the two women fought like tigresses. When Izu tried to intervene, they shoved him. His head struck the threshold, he died instantly. So ended the precious golden son of the Huang family. After giving birth to my daughter, I presented myself at the yamen to receive my punishment of 30 strokes. The official I met was none other than the grandson of the old neighbor who once pitied me. He waved his hand quietly, whispering. The magistrate decreed the strokes after childbirth, but gave no date. 10 days, 10 years, 20, who can say? Go. Pretend I never saw you. I bowed my thanks and hurried home. At the gate stood Changyu, cradling my child. Outwardly, I was still her servant, so she kept up the charade. Seeing me, she barked aloud. Wretched girl, where have you been so long? Do you still want this child? If not, I'll sell her. Yes, I want her. I rushed to take my daughter, feigning shame, slinking inside. Once the door shut, Changyu asked in a low voice. You weren't beaten. Why? Disappointed. Don't talk nonsense. I would rather take the strokes myself for you, silly girl. She scolded, then hugged my daughter tightly. Have you chosen a name yet? In my past life, she had been called Huang Dingyue. I always hated that surname. Now, at last, I could cast it off. She will be Fu Dingyue, bearing my name. Changyu pouted. No. She must also carry my name. Call her Fu Yuyue, with my U. Otherwise, what am I, an outsider? I laughed. Very well. Then let it be Fu Changyue. Yours and mine together. So the child was named Fu Changyue, one child, yet daughter to us both. From then on, Changyu and I leaned on each other, raising our children side by side. She sold wine, I sold tofu. Together we prospered, growing wealthy in our district. In time, my elder brother gambled away his fortune. Desperate, he came crawling to me. Fu Yun, we are family. Help me. No longer did he speak of daughters as spilled water unworthy of return. Now he wept and begged. Changyu stormed out with a blade in hand, shouting. Fu Yun belongs to me. She bears a deed of indenture. Her silver is mine. If you want her aid, bring 500 taels to redeem her. Terrified, my brother's legs buckled. He had no such sum. Dragged out by Changyu's men, he never dared return. For safety, we hired guards at our gate. As for those old, bitter memories, let the wind carry them away. From this day forth, only living well mattered. The end.